Global Partnership for Sustainable Development Data was formed to catalyze the harnessing of the data revolution for sustainable development. We're living in an era of data and information and technology that's changing our lives. And the many sectors are harnessing the data revolution for their objectives. For example, the private sector is using data to help advance their corporate for-profit objectives. The military and intelligence sectors are using the data revolution to advance security. Now, we're in a movement of stakeholders focusing on sustainable development. That's social, economic, and environmental development. And we are way behind in harnessing data to actually drive faster, bolder action. So the partnership is bringing together governments, civil society, the private sector, international organizations, data communities to work together, to join forces to harness this revolution for these global goals for sustainable development. The global goals are an extraordinary event in human history. It's the first time ever that the international community has agreed to 17 measurable, time-bound goals that address social, economic, and environmental justice. So this is an experiment that humanity is coming together to focus on. So the partnership hopes to catalyze a data-driven sustainable development era so that we know where the problems are and we can focus our resources and achieve a faster impact. So the Global Partnership for Sustainable Development Data will publish a toolbox focused on supporting countries, cities, counties, and districts on how to develop a data revolution roadmap. So there's a lot of opportunities to harness the data revolution, but every geographic area, every group of stakeholders has to develop their own roadmap, depending on where they are in trying to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. Some places have a lot of data and a lot of stakeholders that know how to use the data to drive action. But in many other places, people don't know how to use data and how to make data actionable so that we can have a faster impact. It's also to create a new culture of mutual accountability. If we have data and information, then when political leaders make commitments or organizations make commitments about what they're going to do, you use data to measure and monitor progress, and then you can work together to say you met that goal or you didn't meet that goal, and we can work together with using data for action. So the toolbox will have a set of tools that will enable and support stakeholders to figure out what the best pathway is for them. The global goals for sustainable development were agreed by 193 governments. And then now, countries like Colombia and other countries, all those countries are now figuring out how to adapt those goals for their own national priorities. So you have your own national development plan, you'll have your own climate action plan, each of your ministries will have their own plans on what the national priorities are. And so the goals are a global framework that need to be adapted to each country's situation. So within that, you can prioritize, you can make additional priorities that aren't in the goal framework. You have to make the goals work for you. So the data revolution roadmaps are about harnessing the data revolution for the Sustainable Development Goals. So it's about data for the statistics for monitoring the goals and progress towards the goals, but it's also, maybe more importantly, for data for action, harnessing real-time, dynamic data from multiple sources, from citizens, from the private sector, from the geospatial and Earth observation data that can be used to provide new kinds of information to drive action. So the roadmaps will help countries fulfill on using those kinds of data to achieve the goals.